Good Tuesday morning. I'm NTV Chief Meteorologist Eddie Shear. Satellite picture this morning showing our area of low pressure tracking into the western side of Quebec, eastern side of Hudson's Bay. To the east of that low, we've got a whole lot of warm air being pushed up across Newfoundland and Labrador from the Maritimes and from the warm tropical parts of the Atlantic this morning, where temperatures to our south are quite warm for the time of year. As we take a look at the radar imagery, we can see that rain is pushing across southwestern Newfoundland right now. The heaviest stuff looks like it is working its way onto the south coast kind of as we speak. There's that heavy rainfall. It is falling between Burgeo and Belorem, but it's not showing up on the radar because the radar just has a bit of a blind spot there. But the rain and showers are now just working onto the Burin and Avalon peninsulas, and this rain will work across the rest of Newfoundland as we go throughout the morning and throughout the day. So the day is going to be a little bit of a rainy one, and we're also seeing rain up into Labrador this morning, even though it's not showing up there on the radar because there are no radars in Labrador. I assure you much of Labrador is waking up to rainfall this morning. We're also seeing some fairly windy conditions across southwestern Newfoundland right now and up along the west coast, especially into the higher elevations. And these winds will kind of work their way eastward throughout the day, but lose the punch a little bit. So we're talking about gusts 60 to 80 instead of widespread gusts to 100. Although in the Wreck House region right now, we are seeing winds gusting as high as 111. No other area is seeing winds gusting that strong right now. In Burgeo, we're only at 56. Corner Brook, your winds are gusting 31. Cormac, 28. Deer Lake South at 14. So I'm not overly concerned about the high winds along the west coast right now, but you may get a couple of good gusts here as we go throughout the morning before the winds begin to ease off as we go into the afternoon. We do have that wind warning up right now from Parsons Pond, Hawke's Bay, right down through Channel of Port aux Basques, including a Wreck House wind warning as well for winds from the southeast gusting as high as 100. Again, we'll keep an eye on that to see if it actually happens or not. Hopefully it doesn't, but it may. If it does, those winds are going to be fairly localized to where they channel through the long-range mountains. Also have the rainfall warning up for Burgeo Ramia and Channel of Port aux Basques. Some areas here today may see very significant amounts of rain. We're talking over 40 millimeters. And then we have this new special weather statement that was just issued for eastern Newfoundland for tomorrow night into Thursday morning for the potential of some rain on the Avalon and Burin peninsulas and snow as we get to the north and west of there. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. As we go throughout today, though, the warm air continues to work its way in. Highs for most of us, 5-10 degrees. Even up into Labrador, we're going to be similar to that for a while. This is the forecast valid 9:30 this morning. There's a heavy rain across the south coast working its way to the east, and by 3:30 this afternoon, there's rain falling on the Avalon, showers along the south coast and the west coast, but the heaviest rain looks like it is done with by mid-morning. But we are going to see steady rain on the Avalon through the mid-afternoon before going over to showers by this evening. Some areas across interior and western Newfoundland may very well see some clear breaks in the cloud cover by this afternoon. There's a cloud cover forecast, and as you can see there, by it's 8:30 this evening, going back a couple hours, that's 8:30, 7:30, 6:30, 5:30. That's 5:30. Some breaks in the cloud across potentially central, southwestern, northwestern Newfoundland, and even parts of Labrador. May get some sunny breaks later in the day today as the drier air moves in to the eastern side of our area of low pressure, which is sitting right up in there. Now, what happens as we go throughout tonight? The rain band moves offshore. The colder air tries to move back in. You can see it there denoted by those blue lines. And that will set up the stage tomorrow for essentially a rain-snow event across eastern Newfoundland. And these blue line here and this first red line is kind of going to be the boundary where the rain-snow line sets up. And basically east of somewhere in here, we're going to see rain. And west of somewhere between these two lines, we're going to see predominantly snow tomorrow night into Thursday morning. Amounts, we'll get to that probably later today, but it looks like a quick maybe 15-20 centimeters for areas that see snow and 15-20 millimeters for areas that see rain. Now, speaking of rain, here's how much we're talking about today along the south coast, up to 40-50 millimeters from just west of Canagra to Port aux Basques. Other areas, much less than the way rainfall. We're talking for most of us less than 10 millimeters. In Labrador, some pockets of 10-20 millimeters of rain, but for the most part, this is not going to be a huge weather event across Newfoundland and Labrador as we go throughout today into tonight. Now, as we take a look at the forecast for tomorrow night, now this is for tomorrow afternoon. This is what I was talking about. There is that light rain and snow setting up on the Burin Peninsula tomorrow evening. And as we go into tomorrow night, an area of low pressure tracks near the Avalon. So the Avalon will likely see rain, maybe freezing rain. And then areas just west will see predominantly snow, but it's a quick mover. And this is by 9:30 Thursday morning. That low has tracked north. The heaviest snow is done with, and we're just left with flurries, and then maybe a few flurries in areas of some light snow across portions of the island as we go into Thursday afternoon, but that will end by Thursday evening. So a couple of things to pay attention to. I am paying attention to it, and I'll have your updated forecast later today and tonight on NTV and social media and all those good spaces. But right now, I have to go be a dad and take care of my daughter for a while. Best part of my day. Have a great day, folks, and we'll see you later.